Hello, everybody, and welcome to another feature and it's a live broadcast, right?
Yeah.
We're coming to you hot off of the Red Meat Barbecue, which was a tremendous success. You want to talk a little bit about that event before we go into our new features that we're going to be talking about, Jeff?
Well, first of all, for anybody that attended can definitely agree that it was the best brisket that we've ever had in our lives. So it was amazing. We actually ran out of meat. We had meat for well over 300 people and ran out of meat within the first 30 minutes of the event. So it was a huge success, a lot of fun. Individuals were out there smoking meat all night long, playing cornhole till 4:30 in the morning. It was a lot of fun. We've already got our next one on the calendar. That's why we want to recap this. The next one is...
Needless to say, we're going to do it again, right? Yeah. We're going to do it August 4th, 2022. So be ready. And again, I'm Dallin Labrum, Vice President of Sales and Support with ProdataKey. And with me is Jeff Perry, the Chief Marketing Officer of ProdataKey. And today we're coming to you with some new features with pdkio.
This is probably one of the most exciting things that we do, is talking about new features. And you'll continue to see us do this monthly about new product as well as new features that are being released. Our feature release typically happens every couple of weeks. And so we try to combine these into a couple of features at a time. The two features that we're going to talk about today are custom fields and anti-passback. These are two features that we're really excited about and something that we've talked about for a long time, but wanted to make sure that we executed properly on. So talking about custom fields, there's a lot of benefit behind custom fields. When working with dealers, we received a lot of feedback on being able to maneuver in the fields, add information that was pertinent to a specific tenant or floor or unit number. And now that is all possible thanks to custom fields. So you're going to more accurately identify individuals, groups, etc., based on being able to add these fields into the system. And like I said before, is this custom identification allows you to add addresses, locations, floors, unit numbers, etc. You're also going to get a lot more flexibility and overall control over specific individuals and be able to pull reports on this information on the backside of pdkio. So we're really excited about the custom fields section. Let's show you a little video on what custom fields looks like.
Sounds good.
Creating custom fields within pdkio is very simple. To do this, navigate to Partitions in pdkio and select your partition. On the top right corner, click on the Kebab menu and select Custom Fields. Click on the plus sign at the bottom of the page to create your first custom field. The available types of fields are as follows. Boolean, which is used for a simple yes or no checkbox. Number. String, which is a mix of numbers or symbols. Enumeration, for a list of items. Fields group, which is a group of custom fields. And field array, which is a group of values. Set the visibility and field ID. The display name will show within the person's record. For the parameter, set the minimum and maximum values. Save. And save the custom field again. Let's create a new custom field. For this example, we will create a license plate field. Select string for type, visibility, and then the name. For the parameter, you have letters, letters and numbers, letters, numbers, and symbols, email, or regular expression. Save your preferences. Let's take a look at those changes inside the person's record. Select the user. Now we can see the fields we created. We can also change the order of these fields. Let's take a look. In the custom fields list, we can arrange the order of each item like so. Be sure to save your changes. Now that we've saved the update, Let's go back and take a look at those changes.
As you guys can see, custom fields is going to give you a lot more customizability, right? It's in the name, and it's going to give you a lot more flexibility with PDKio. And when you come to market with the easiest to use access control option, you get pulled in a ton of different directions. And so like everything else at PDK, this new feature was brought to you by our partners who pushed us to implement this. Everything we do at PDK is centered around partner fanaticism. So our dealer partners, integration partners, distribution partners have a tremendous influence on where we go as a company.
Absolutely. And what you've noticed in the past, and maybe you noticed this with other platforms that you've used in the past, is the functionality or flexibility to add what you need when you need it. We understand that every job isn't the same, so customizability is something that is extremely important to us. As a software-first organization, we really put that focus on being able to customize as much as possible. So not just being able to go in and add the license plates and apartment numbers like you saw in the video, but pretty much anything you can think of, you can add as a custom field and be able to track that. And like we talked about later on, being able to pull reports based on that as well. Another thing that I think is super important to point out is the ability to add those fields to specific partitions. So if you've got 3 different companies within a building, the entire building's using PDK, you can partition that out and then add custom fields to individuals within different partitions. So this is a really unique feature, something that provides a lot of power and, again, a lot of value to you and to your customer base. We're excited about custom fields.
Yeah. I don't know about you, Jeff, but I got chills when I saw the Boolean type function with custom fields.
Yeah. So if you want yes or no, Boolean is the way to go.
Yeah, and it's fun to say.
Let's talk about anti-passback. This is another one that we've talked about for a long time. Again, wanted to approach it the right way. When we were going through the beta process with anti-passback, we actually had a dealer that reached back out to us and just so excited about the way that we implemented anti-passback because it's so different from the way that your traditional access control approaches it. It makes it much easier, more effective. Your implementation is not just going to be easier, but also the use of anti-passback. And when something's easy to use, it naturally becomes more secure because I want to use it more often. So some of the benefits of this feature are increased security, obviously a lot more control. You're going to also discourage credential sharing between individuals or passing that credential back for an individual then to access a door, a gate, or whatever it might be. And I believe the beta part of this happened on a pool gate, right? They had a couple of pool gates, wanted to make sure that individuals weren't passing that card back over the fence to somebody else to get in.
It was at a resort style implementation that has tens of thousands of users, and they had different access options for different pools, different areas. I think some of them had slides, some were hot tubs, some were for kids. They wanted to make sure that someone didn't enter a certain area and then hand their credential off to somebody else to either come into that area or to go enter another area, because those are premium features that they wanted to control. And of course, businesses are businesses to make money. I think we all know that.
Yeah, you must be hungry talking about hot dogs.
Hot dogs, hot tubs, not the same. That's for right. Sure.
So the last feature here, I would say, of anti-passback is going to be promoting lost credential reporting. So if there's an issue with somebody losing their credential, the likelihood of them reporting that is much better, because the individual that finds it is less likely to be able to utilize that, especially if they've already scanned in with it, don't understand how the anti-passback works. So we want to show you a little video on anti-passback, how it's set up, and the benefits of utilizing that feature.
The anti-passback feature is used to define a specific sequence in which credentials must be used. They are used for areas with defined exits and entrances. This feature makes it so that you are not allowed to enter a building again without scanning your way out. Let's use an example of a parking garage. If an anti-passback rule is created, it would require that after having used the garage's entry reader, the exit reader must be used on the way out. Creating this rule would stop garage users from passing their card to another car after they have entered the garage. To create an anti-passback rule, navigate to the person or group you want the rule to apply to. For this example, let's use a group. Navigate to Groups in pdkio and choose the group. Click on the plus icon next to Rules and click on the Anti-Passback tab. Under the schedule, we have multiple options. Always is used when we want this rule to always remain active. Recurring is selected to set up a defined schedule, and single date is used when the rule needs to be applied one day at a time. Let's create a recurring schedule. First, select a start and a stop time. Then, let's select the entry device and the exit device. After scanning at an entry device, the user must scan their badge at the exit device when leaving. This will cause the anti-passback rule to be deactivated when used. If we were to create an anti-passback rule for a parking garage, there would need to be an entry and an exit device. The readout reader would be our exit device, and once the badge was scanned, it would end the anti-passback rule, allowing them to use the read-in reader again. We then need to set the re-entry toggle to either deny or allow. If the toggle is set to deny, the anti-passback rule will deny explicit valid credential inputs on selected entry devices by people that currently have an anti-passback restriction from this rule. This will stop the entry device from actuating its relay in addition to generating an anti-passback violation event. If the toggle is set to allow, when a person with an active anti-passback restriction enters a valid credential at an entry device, its relay will actuate as normal. However, an anti-passback violation event will be generated. Next, select the violation expiration timeframe. Never means the anti-passback restrictions generated by this rule will be active on the person until the exit device is used or it is manually dismissed. 1 hour means the anti-passback restrictions are active for 1 hour from a valid credential input on a selected entry device or until it is manually dismissed. 24 hours means the anti-passback restrictions are active for 24 hours from a valid credential input on a selected entry device or it is manually dismissed. And lastly, custom is used to set anti-passback restrictions for the selected time frame on a valid credential input on a selected entry device or until it is manually dismissed. Click Save when done. If a notification is needed for an anti-passback violation, click the plus sign next to the rules and then click on the Events tab. First, give the event a name. For schedule, let's go ahead and select 24/7. Under Action, select the anti-passback violation trigger, and then select Send Email under the action. At the bottom, we can edit the message template and then manually select the recipients. You can have this message sent as an email, or by clicking on the phone number tab, it will let you send it as a text message if needed. Save the rule.
So one thing you know about PDK is when we do things, we really try our best to do it right. And you can see that anti-passback using pdkio is extremely simple. It follows our normal process. One thing I want to talk about is the reentry. So you can have reentry allowed or reentry denied on that, and you saw that on the video. It was pretty neat. And what that is that's the difference between hard and soft anti-passback. So if you're a business that really wants to require and enforce and have an immediate repercussion when an employee doesn't follow the procedures of the building or the necessary security measures, well, you can turn on no reentry. And what that'll mean is if an employee hasn't scanned out or hasn't scanned in, they won't be able to do the opposite. So if they haven't scanned out, they will not be able to scan back in. And so that will force them to follow those procedures. If you're the kind of company that just wants to be able to track who is doing that, but you don't want any sort of interruption in their work, you can put that on allow, where even if they don't follow the rule, you'll be able to pull that report within people to see who is following the procedures and who is not. So basically, one has an immediate repercussion where they are locked out and has to be approved by a manager, and the other one where they will be able to re-enter or exit having not scanned in or scanned out, but you will be able to pull that report and see that they did not follow procedure.
And for those of you that have used our rules engine in the past, can see that our anti-passback rule really follows that same structure, just being able to add devices very easily. You saw in the video, you're able to add multiple devices. So let's say you don't want somebody to utilize a credential anywhere in the building unless they've scanned out of the building, and or so when they're scanning in, all of these devices become active. You can then add all of the readers inside of a building to the as a device, so that if somebody hasn't scanned out, all of those devices are now inactive and don't allow their credential to work. So it's not just a one-to-one, it's a one-to-many or many-to-one. Creates a ton of flexibility there. Another feature I really like inside of Anti-Passback is expiration.
Yeah.
Being able to go in there and have it automatically reset, so somebody in the HR department isn't having to manage that. So it allows you to really determine what's the security of the organization. Does it need to be extremely secure where I need to go in and cancel that anti-passback violation? Or can it automatically expire within an hour, 24 hours, or whatever it may be? So there's a lot of value to, again, having the flexibility to set up anti-passback the way that makes the most sense for a particular application. And if you've got a pool gate, you may not want to receive a call every time there's an anti-passback violation. You can just have that expire after an hour. If that's communicated well to the tenants of the facility, now it makes it very easy for them to really understand, hey, within an hour, my credential is going to start working again. And it's more of an inconvenience for them that increases security and functionality. So anti-passback is a wonderful new feature. We're very excited about it. We hope that you're excited about how it's been implemented. The feedback that we've got is tremendous on it. So we're excited about custom fields in Anti-Passback and what this offers to you as new features in pdkio.
Yeah.
And for all of you that have used pdkio, know that these features will immediately become available as soon as they're released.
Yeah. And I want to thank our dealer partners and our regional sales managers out there. Those of you who work with our sales team, you know how much they care about what you want and need as our dealer partners, and even as our prospective dealer partners. And all of this came to fruition with help, motivation, and guidance, working in tandem with our regional sales team and with our dealer partners. So it's really exciting to be able to offer a feature to one of our dealer partners that they need that will help them close more deals the way that they want it.
While you're talking about the sales team, let's pull up a list of contact information for each of these individuals so you can see them. We've got the best sales team on the market.
Yeah, let's touch on it just a little bit. We are going to answer live questions, but if you want to reach out, you've got Greg Hartzell in the Southwest, Mike Brimmer in the Central region, Ron Kanzer's covering a whole lot of ground there in the Mountain West. A lot of people know Paul Delaski. They know him as Tall Paul in the Northeast. He's been in the industry for a long time. We have Scott Nelson in the Southeast. He's a hustler. And then we have our inside sales manager, Brock Benson, who many of you know. He's been with the company for a long time. He knows the product inside and out. He's actually the voice of a lot of our videos. It's just really exciting to have such an excellent sales team and see the growth that we're seeing. And bringing products like this and features like this to the market is part of why.
And like you said, is a lot of the features that we implement are feedback from dealers and individuals to our sales team, or the sales team bringing those back to our development team. And so it's really exciting to see that growth there in new features. Let's go ahead and move on to our Q&A.
Sure.
And take any questions that we might have. Let's see if we've got any questions so far. Okay, we've got a couple. How do you pull reports on custom fields? So when you go into the reporting section, you'll click on people and you'll be able to pull a custom fields report directly under the people's tab. So just make sure you go under people, and there is reporting on custom fields in the people section. The next one is how can I restart an anti-passback rule?
Yeah, I believe you can do that within, I want to say, door states. So not door states, but this is a new feature, and so if you want to reset an anti-passback rule, do you do it within the rule? Okay. Excellent. Even easier. So when you get a notification, which you can set up real-time notifications, there will be a link within the notification that can take you to the person's profile. You can set it up that way very easily. You go there, go to the kebab menu, and it drops down and gives you any active notifications on their account. So that's probably a better way to do it, is per person or per group instead of at the door level.
I like this feature even more now.
Yeah.
And it's amazing at how much we learn just giving these live presentations.
Give a shout out to Tim Baker for the information there, keeping things lined up.
Great job. Let's see if we have any other questions. If you have any other questions, go ahead and chat them in, and we can answer those. We'll give just another minute.
So I have a question for our dealer partners while we're rating.
Yeah.
How do you plan on using anti-passback and additional fields? We know how, the group of our dealer partners that have requested these, but comment in the comment section and let us know how you would plan on using anti-passback, or how you would plan on using custom fields as you move forward with PDK.
That's great. Another thing is, when we talked about the barbecue in the very beginning, August 4th of 2022 is the next barbecue. Make sure that you sign up for that. If you haven't seen the video on the Bring the Heat Red Meat Barbecue, make sure that you go to YouTube and look up that video right after this. Couple minute recap of it.
Yeah.
You certainly won't want to miss it.
Our marketing team is awesome, and everything they come out with, it's inspirational, it's fun. You get to see the essence of what PDK is. And, you can see with this live event that we do right here, every single one of our presentations from the very beginning when we started, they are live. You can see at the beginning, I kind of fumbled here. One of the reasons why we do that is we want to be authentic. We want to be honest with our dealer partners. We want to answer questions real time. We want you to see who we are and who the people are that are running PDK, and who your partners are.
And we don't see any other questions, so we'll go ahead and close up, and just appreciate you jumping on. Again, custom fields, anti-passback, we're really excited about these two new features. We've got another live event within the next week or so make sure you look for that live event and additional features that will be coming out shortly.
Yep.
Thank you so much. Have a great day.
And if you want any additional training, reach out to the sales team. We can train you on anti-passback. We can train you and your team on additional fields. We're always here to help. Thank you.
All right, take care.